and you're hearing nothing, right?
You've got it all. I listen to you religiously. As soon as I heard about this, boom, I'm on with Michael Savage. We just got in. It's unbelievable. And
it's unbelievable. What's more unbelievable is that Obama still wants to bring in at least 100,000 Syrian Muslim men of military age. He must be stopped. I'm sending you Government Zero. Read about what he's doing. I'm warning the world. I'm trying to save the world that you live in. I got to calm down because I'll tell you the truth. This is a bad situation that's going to get a lot worse. Now it was 20, 18, 30, 50. Do you know how many people are probably going to be dead before the Muslims are finished in Paris? Inside a concert hall in Paris, after grenades and guns were fired inside a Paris bar. Shootout in restaurant, they report, the Associated Press. Shootout in restaurant, as though people just got into a dispute in the Wild West. It wasn't a shootout. It was Muslim madmen on a rampage. Now, what is their mission, by the way? What do they really want? Why? Well, it must be them Jews, right? It must be that Israel, huh? Well, there was no Israel 1,000 years ago when they started their crusade against everyone on earth. There was no Israel 800 years ago, 500 years ago, 400 years ago, 300 years ago, 200 years ago. And they were killing people in the name of Allah. You know that or you don't know that? You probably don't. You're probably that stupid. That's why you elected Obama. That's why you think Hillary is something fresh and new instead of guava on the jungle floor. At least now it's 60 dead, according to CNN. So if they're saying 60 dead, that's like saying 11 million illegal aliens are in America, when you know it's at least 3 to 4 times that. And what is the good of being sarcastic and cutting on a radio show when it's way beyond being sarcastic or cutting? The issue here of what you are watching, what you're witnessing, and before this day is over, it's going to get much worse, I can guarantee you. This should change the entire quotient of the entire presidential election. This should end it for Hillary Clinton, an open borders girl. This should end it for Barack Obama. He should be impeached tomorrow. This should end it for America, who's been sitting on the sidelines because we're very nice people. We're the nicest people on the planet. We are the most tolerant nation on the planet. And it's time to stop being so tolerant, because your tolerance will kill you. Even a strawberry. If you look at a strawberry under a microscope, you'll see a strawberry has little barbs on it. Little barbs on the strawberry to keep insects from eating the soft flesh of that strawberry. And do you know what's happened to the barbs on our berries in this country? The radical feminists, the psychopathic liberals have plucked the barbs off our berries. We are open to the bees that want to suck the nectar out of our fruit. Is that graphic enough for those of you who like fruits and berries? How else can I get my message across to you? What kind of language must I use to make you aware of the fact that you are under siege, that your nation is being overrun, and that the enemy is within? What do I need to say to you today as you look at an attack like this in Paris, which has happened over and over and over again? Paris was on alert before this. They had a hint that it was going to happen, and it happened anyway. Why is that? And why is Obama now not saying a word that I'm not going to bring in Syrian Muslims? We've changed our plans. Until we can sort out who they are, we're not bringing them in. Why wouldn't a man do a thing like that if he truly cared about his nation? Well, the answer is in the question. The question laid the answer out right in front of you. The death toll will climb all afternoon and evening. And as we're talking, innocent people are sitting there in fear for their lives, holding their loved ones. Imagine going to a concert hall, and in the middle of a concert where you're being taken to a more beautiful world, in comes throwbacks from the 9th century. And they start throwing grenades and machine gunning you. And then they're shotgunning people in the auditorium. And you don't have a gun in your hand because you are in a gun-free zone. And you have a nation where guns were outlawed a long time ago because it's a much more advanced nation than America. And people don't have guns in France. They can't have those guns. They're not from the Wild West. They're not wild men like from Texas. They're not allowed to have guns there. They're civilized. Liberté, equalité, fraternité. They love literature and poetry and art and ballet and symphonies. They're wonderful people. They're not barbarians like the Americans with their gun culture. They're not like Hillary Clinton, who wants to turn us into Paris, into France, wants to take away the guns from you Wild West idiots from Texas, and make you civilized like the Europeans who are being overrun like locusts? No, I tell you, my friends, the only thing that separates us from France is the Second Amendment. And any politician who wants to take that away from you, and her name is Hillary Clinton, should be disqualified immediately if we had a legitimate media. You think Wolf Blitzer's going to say it? You think Upchuck Todd's going to say it? I hope to God Donald Trump is saying it right now. I don't know where he is campaigning, but if I were him, I'd throw my speech away. And I would say this. This terrible event that's going on in Paris right now shows us one thing, that I was right. We need to build a fence immediately. We need to start deportations immediately. We need to empty the prisons of all the radicals and throw them out of our country immediately. And moreover, something else must be done. Every mosque in America must be forced to tell us who is suspicious in their congregations, who just arrived from where, and who is acting oddly, and turn them over to the police before they kill other people. That's what Trump should be saying, in my opinion. But it wouldn't be the American way. It wouldn't pass muster with David Geffen. It wouldn't pass muster with Katzenberg, Hatzenberg, Matzenberg, and Ratzenberg. They would be offended by that fascism, wouldn't they? They want to live in this liberal dream world that they created in Hollywood. A world where perversion is the norm, a world where drugs are everyday, a world of rehab, a world of disgusting slutism. That's the world that Katzenberg, Hatzenberg, Matzenberg, Ratzenberg want you to have. That's the world of nausea that they have produced for the world. A nausea that's throwing itself back upon itself through these Muslim fanatics. Because I've said this to you before, and I will say it again. While these fanatics have been at war for 1,000 years in their ancestral homes against everyone except themselves with their insane reliance upon a single book, the self-sufficiency of a single book, they would burn every book in your library. That's if you have a book in your library. They'd burn every book. They'd burn every film. There'd be no movies, no theater, no concerts, no alcohol, no dogs. That's the world they want to live in. A dark, horrible world from the 7th century. That's the world they want to take you to. And you don't think that they're wrong, because it's a cultural thing. They just haven't been enlightened yet with your culture and your poetry and your art and your concerts. Well, there they are in the concert hall. They're not sitting and listening to Vivaldi. They're not listening to Vivaldi. They're not reading Saint-Exupéry. They're executing people with shotguns. And what, you want to bring in more of them? This is going to evolve over this evening. It's going to change the entire course of this election, I hope. Because if this does not change the course of this election, if this does not disqualify Hillary Clinton's open borders campaign, if this does not requalify Donald Trump's build a wall campaign, then nothing can save us. We are finished as a nation. Time for a quick time out, then right back with more horrible news of your friends, the Islamo-fascists, doing what they do best, which is burn, murder, rape, and kill on the Savage Nation.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
The Savage Nation is sponsored by Swiss America, the only company I trust with my financial future. Call 800-289-2646 or SwissAmerica.com.
I just want to make a few brief comments about the attacks across Paris tonight. Once again, we've seen an outrageous attempt to terrorize innocent civilians. This is an attack not just on...
All right, let's stop. This is one of the most shameful... This will go down as one of the most shameful moments in the history of the most shameful presidency in America's history. Everyone knows Muslims are killing, as this liar in the White House speaks, and he says we don't know the specifics. We don't know who did this. We don't have specifics. We'll stand in solidarity with the French, our oldest ally. This will go down in history as the lowest point of the lowest presidency in the history of this nation. He wouldn't even say Muslim. He wouldn't say Islam. He would not say what everyone knows is going on, as innocent Parisians are being shotgunned to death in a concert hall as I speak. Hostages are being shot to death by shotgun by reports that I am reading, and I'm not the president of the United States. Surely that charlatan in the White House knows what I know, if not more. Surely the charlatan has a live feed from the concert hall through French intelligence. And yet the charlatan, President Zero, says to you that we don't know enough to say who did it or what because it's an ongoing live situation. Why didn't he say because of this we're changing our immigration policy? Because of this we're going to change our intelligence policies. Because of this we're going to change our TSA screening policies. Instead, the charlatan said nothing. He just mumbled. How did you feel about Obama's little speech just now? Robert, play it for them because this is more than astonishing. This is criminal negligence to speak like this at a time like this. Play it now.
This is
play it now.
An attack not just on Paris. It's an attack not just on
an attack, Mr.
France.
Cool. Mr. Cool.
An attack on all
yeah,
of
it's an attack on Mr. Cool
that we share.
What are you talking about values, you putz, you?
And ready to provide whatever assistance that the government and the people of France need.
Send balloons and clowns.
France is our oldest
I can't listen to it. I'm sorry. Cannot listen to it. Here, Hollandaise Sauce is speaking. The other, his socialist cousin over there. You got Hollandaise? The other Schmendrick over there of liberalism. The other open borders criminal over there. Look at him. Here, what's he saying? Hold on. We got that feed even in French. I'll take it.
Sûr que aucune attaque ne puisse de nouveau avoir lieu.
Idiot. Just play him in French. I can listen to French. I studied it for 7 years. Just play him in French. That's all. I'm not Woody Allen, but I know French. You can't get the French? No one's running the French? Everyone's talking over it? Why, they don't know the French language, the great media stars? All the geniuses, the cultural liberals don't know what he's saying? I wish I can get a feed. I'll read it for I'll translate it on the fly.
A coordinated attack.
Will you turn that moron off? Turn that idiot off, Schlepper Smith. Turn Schlepper Smith off. Not qualified to teach journalism at a Missouri journalism school. Schlepper Smith. What would you do to make sure that we don't have such an attack at a concert hall or a cafe or a restaurant here in America? Do you have to consult the textbook to know what to do? You have any idea what you would do if you were president today, other than give a limp speech like he just gave? A big mouth on him when it comes to Republicans and conservatives, but Mr. Limp when it comes to talking about Islamofascism. My friends, it's not 60 dead in Paris. It'll be in the hundreds. My friends, this should change the course of the election. My friends, this should immediately derail Hillary Clinton's campaign, who is for open borders and taking away your right to self-defense. My friends, this should ennoble Donald Trump's campaign of close the borders and build a fence. Has Trump spoken on this yet? Or has the dumb advisor who told him to attack Carson not even told him what's going on as he goes on attacking? Maybe he could be doing a stage show now about Carson, a little burlesque about Carson at this moment. Where is he right now? Our dear leader. Nowhere. We have no leadership. We have no leadership. I'm your leader. I am your leader. I'm the only one telling you what's going on. And at the risk of your displeasure, I warned you this would happen. And I also warned you that it's coming to a neighborhood near you because of Government Zero. This should change the course of the election if only we had a proper media. All I can say is, God bless America and thank God for the Second Amendment.